Hello, I'm Donna Walker-Tileston. I'm the author of your textbook, and I'm also the author of this class. I hope you're enjoying your classes and that you are getting some information from them that's going to be helpful to you in your classes. I want to give you just a brief introduction to the brain learning and memory, and to kind of begin by talking just a moment about how we get information into the brain. We actually learn 98% of everything that we're learning comes to us from the senses, from sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. And because we know this, I want you to think just a minute about your classroom. Pretend for a moment that you're standing at the door of your classroom looking in. What are you doing in your classroom to help visually, to help students visually to learn? What are on the walls? Is there something hanging from the ceiling? And I do that even in my secondary classrooms. Do you have things that would be appealing, that would also be something that would help to teach students? Or do you have a poster that's been there since, I don't know, 1998 maybe? In the elementary classroom, I don't worry about that so much, but as we get to the secondary classroom, so many of us who teach or have taught students who are a little bit older tend to do a little bit less of that. But remember that your students are learning from your room as well. What does your room sound like? Is the only voice in the classroom your own? Or are they're the sounds of students working, of kids learning together? What does it smell like? And we've done some experiments with scents. As a matter of fact, some of my college students did that one semester. And we hung things in the classroom, you know, those scratch and sniff things that we get when we take our cars to have them washed. And we tried to get something that would be pretty neutral. We didn't want anything floral or anything that, you know, might make somebody nauseated. But we chose things like chocolate, things that all kids love. And we put those up in the classroom, didn't say anything about them, but just watched what the reaction was. One of my college students said, when you told me to try that, she said, I thought my middle school kids couldn't care less how my room smells. But she said almost every student, when they walked in the door, said, ooh, this room smells good. Because, for one thing, it's often a contrast to the hallways. So what does your room smell like? When it's appropriate, are there things for students to taste? Are there things for students to touch? Use the senses as much as possible, because it's through the senses that we learn. I have a brother who's a scientist, and he told me that everything he ever needed to know he learned when he was in second grade. He said his second grade teacher used all of the senses to help to teach. He said that all of the second grades were having units on Italy. And in one classroom, the kids brought some Italian dishes one day to eat, and some students brought some costumes in another second grade classroom for this that showed how people dress in Italy. He said, not my classroom. My classroom was Italy. He said it smelled like Italy. It sounded like Italy. It tasted like Italy. It looked like Italy. And he said that his first love of opera came from that second grade classroom. He said, and not only did we listen to Italian opera, we knew what was going on. We knew the stories behind the operas that we were listening to. How wonderful to use all of the senses to help teach students. Where does I said 98% of everything we learn comes to us from the senses. Where's the other 2%? Well, it's stored, and it has to do with background knowledge. That's one of the reasons why background knowledge is so important. Because when new information comes in, one of the first things that your brain is doing, and you are usually unconscious of that, is that your brain is looking to see, what else do I know? What else have I experienced that I can attach to this? So 2% is coming from that long-term memory, whereas 98% is coming to us through the senses.